I'm glad he's got a sense of humour. It's needed in his job. But when I look at the plans that he's announced for the country, I find myself asking, is that it? Britain is the 5th largest economy in the world. There are wars in Europe and the Middle East. Hostile states are attacking our critical infrastructure. China and America are racing ahead in artificial intelligence, energy, and space. We have a demographic challenge to solve, a borders crisis requiring tough choices. And our new Prime Minister's big ideas are £2 bus fares and £45 off energy bills, when the average bill is nearly £2,000, and that will only last for 6 months anyway. Don't get me wrong, cost of living pressures are real. But the problems go way beyond bus fares and VAT on bills. Families are struggling. Young people are worrying about whether they will ever earn enough to buy a home. Some are leaving the country in search of a better future. Businesses are closing. People are working harder but feeling poorer. I'm sorry, but going by what he's announced so far, Andy Burnham's ambitions for Britain are too small.
The political landscape in Westminster has just been completely reshaped, and the fallout is nothing short of extraordinary. Welcome back to Britain Underneath, the place where we cut straight through the official press releases to uncover what is actually happening in the corridors of power. Before we dive into the total upheaval inside Number 10, take a brief moment to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and join our growing community. Your support genuinely helps us keep bringing you independent, unfiltered analyses of British politics, so do consider subscribing today to help us stay live and vocal.
Here we go. Are you ready? Oh, here we go. Angela Rayner is made the Housing Communities Local Government Secretary. The job she wanted, she's keeping. She's back in the job she lost last September over her tax affairs. Jonathan Reynolds, the former government chief whip, he's back at the job he had. He's the Business Innovation, Science and Trade Secretary. Lucy Powell, Labour's deputy leader, elected deputy leader, supported Andy Burnham back into government, back into as the MP of Makerfield. She is now the Education Secretary. Annalise Midgley, she's the chief whip, and she'll be a member of the cabinet as we forecast at GB News. Bridget Phillipson loses her job as Education Secretary, but remains as Women's and Equalities Secretary, reporting to the Prime Minister. Peter Kyle, Steve Reid, Liz Kendall have left the government, so we have some clarification on those roles, but a lot more. I make it another 10 Labour figures are in the room behind me without a job. We have now got 5 more jobs appointed. Just to recap briefly for the listeners of GB News Radio and GB News viewers, Angela Rayner, Housing Communities Local Government, back. She got the job that she resigned from in September last year. Jonathan Reynolds, back as Business Innovation, Science and Trade. That's back at the role he had when he secured those post-Brexit deals before he's moved to be Chief Whip last September. Lucy Powell, she's in as the Education Secretary, replacing Bridget Phillipson, who loses one of her roles. She's now simply the Women's and Equalities Secretary. Annalise Midgley in as Chief Whip, and also that's where we are, yes, Lucy Powell. And then Peter Kyle out of the government, Steve Reid also out, and Liz Kendall, we knew all that. So gradually we're getting there. The shape of this government is becoming more clear. What's interesting here is Angela Rayner got the job she wanted. It shows the power Angela Rayner has, even as a backbench MP. She's got the job back. She lost her job, of course, last September. That is fascinating. And also Jonathan Reynolds back in the cabinet. While you've been away from me, Alan Campbell's arrived, the leader of the House of Commons. So a lot more now are inside without jobs than with jobs. Wes Streeting still inside. Dame Angela Eagle still inside. Angela Rayner, are you happy at local government? Angela Rayner, are you happy? Leaving Number 10 there, Angela Rayner in a black and white trouser suit. She was smiling, which had some reading glasses on. She, of course, is now the Housing Secretary.
Christopher, can I just jump in quickly?
9 months for her, never happened.
When a new Prime Minister enters Downing Street, a cabinet reshuffle is entirely standard protocol. What Andy Burnham just delivered, however, was not a routine administrative refresh. It was a calculated, sweeping overhaul that has sent shockwaves through Westminster, left political veterans reeling, and ignited fierce accusations of internal party settling. Over half of the previous cabinet was either unceremoniously removed or demoted within a matter of 48 hours. Out goes the old guard, and in comes a newly formed inner circle, featuring the high-profile returns of Angela Rayner to housing and Louise Hay to a newly carved-out super role at the top of Whitehall. The scale of this purge is what makes it so striking. Figures close to the previous administration have already voiced deep frustration, openly describing the reshuffle as a thinly veiled exercise in political retribution rather than a genuine effort to unify the party. While Downing Street insists this is all about streamlining decision-making and creating a cost-of-living-focused administration, the reality on the ground looks far more chaotic.
The morning after a reshuffle that stretched late into the night, the same Labour government, but now a new-look cabinet, as Andy Burnham's allies took the top jobs. Lucy Powell, are you happy to be Education Secretary? Yeah, and can you keep the party united? Shabana Mahmood, are you disappointed not to be Chancellor? Happy with your job? Ed Miliband, are you happy to be Foreign Secretary, sir? You not sad about the Chancellorship, sir? As Andy Burnham's allies took top jobs in a ruthless purge of those loyal to the last leader. Wes Streeting, can the party unite in this cabinet? Isn't it a vicious cull of Starmer allies, sir? Angela Rayner, can the party stay united under Andy Burnham? Is it a nest of singing birds, sir? Johnny Reynolds, can the party remain united, sir? Some of the old guard who called for Starmer to go themselves stayed, joined in the Downing Street gardens by the Burnham backers who got their man here. Burnham convening his very first cabinet.
Can I just say, I expect this every meeting.
At the height of his power and with a very clear message.
We need to be a cost of living government. Life's hard out there, isn't it, at the moment?
Burnham using his first full day in office to make a down payment on his pledge to give people a bit more breathing space, with a cut to VAT on energy bills from October the 1st, saving you £45 a year and costing the government £850.
Take a deep breath and look at how Whitehall itself is being dismantled and reassembled on the fly. Prime Minister Burnham has announced a total restructuring of the central government apparatus, establishing a new Office of the Prime Minister and Cabinet, while splitting operations between London and a new political hub in Manchester. Entire departments are being sliced up and merged overnight. The Department for Science, Innovation and Technology has effectively been dissolved, its responsibilities scattered across business, culture and the Cabinet Office. While ministers scramble to locate their new desks, critical national issues are hanging in the balance. We are facing severe fiscal pressures, escalating energy costs, and an ongoing housing crisis. Yet the central focus in Westminster over the past few days has been an intense internal power struggle.
Million.
We've made a start today. We made the announcement about removing VAT from household electricity bills. It's not everything, but it shows our determination to do something about people's living standards, and it kind of points the way for further measures that we hope to take that pressure off people. But also it comes with reprioritisation, and you'll have seen what I've said about digital ID.
Burnham dropping plans for new ID cards to pay for cuts to energy bills, whilst seeking to reassure the markets his more left-wing government will maintain fiscal discipline.
We've got to show that our commitment to the fiscal rules is real, and we're prepared to make difficult decisions in relation to that.
But for all the smiles in the cabinet room, the Labour Party not a nest of singing birds. Burnham's first major policy announcement already facing soundings off. As former Chief Secretary to the PM and architect of the Digital ID programme, Darren Jones, tweeted the scheme was unfunded and that the government will have to set out how it will pay for its new policies at the budget. Payback perhaps for the purge, Harriet Harman unimpressed.
I need to speak to my colleagues who've been sacked from the cabinet and just say nobody wants to hear bitterness and resentment, and everybody wants this new regime to succeed, and that's for the good of the country and for the good of the party.
Burnham has made much of ending factionalism and bringing the Labour Party back together, but his cabinet picks were anything but, with 11 Starmer loyalists purged from the top table and another couple only hanging on by their fingertips. This may have been a bloodless coup, but this reshuffle was vicious, and some of the bad blood spilled was on show today. After talking a good game on unity, Burnham's first act failed to follow through. The next act is getting on with the job and cutting the cost of living. This something Starmer promised too, but failed to land. Burnham wants his new team to succeed, but his reshuffle may well make that a harder task.
Key figures like John Healey have been shifted into the Treasury as Chancellor, while high-stakes portfolios like health and defence have seen sudden leadership changes, with Yvette Cooper and Wes Streeting being rotated into new roles. When a government spends its crucial first days settling internal scores and redrawing organisational charts, it is the public that ultimately pays the price through administrative delays and policy uncertainty. The ambition to rewire the state may sound impressive in a televised address, but executing a structural overhaul of this magnitude during an economic strain is a massive gamble. Disgruntled backbenchers are already gathering in the tea rooms, allies of ousted ministers are quietly sharpening their knives, and the opposition is having a field day highlighting the sheer lack of continuity. What was supposed to be a confident display of authority has instead exposed deep fractures right at the very heart of government. We are watching a high-stakes political experiment unfold in real time, and the consequences for the country will be felt for years to come. Make sure you stay informed as this story develops by staying tuned to our upcoming coverage. Please take a second to subscribe to Britain Underneath right now. It takes just one click, but it means the world to the channel and ensures you never miss our deep dives into the stories the mainstream media glosses over. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.